Chapter 13 Making It Better. Somewhere in some unknown town in an unknown alleyway, a hooded stallion awoke from his slumber. He had been flying non-stop for a day through sleet and rain, until finally a bad hailstorm forced him to take shelter. He lay in a small passage wearing an old jacket he had picked up to shield him from the cold. As he wearily stood up, the stallion took a glance up at the sky, now devoid of storm clouds. To his surprise, the sun had already risen, signifying the hour as 12 noon. The date, November 11th. At first he thought it was no big deal, and was relieved for the much-needed sleep. But then he remembered how far he still had to fly. Startled by how fast time had flown, the stallion quickly scuffed out of the dim alley. Still aching from the hail last night, the stallion spread his wings, thinking, "I'm going to be late." Then, with a flourish, he took off, flying determinedly toward his destination. It would be another 24 hours before he touched the ground again. Ponyville was hyped up. The streets were bustling and buzzing with activity. Every point was busy, whether it be from running the stands, raising funds, or just having pure fun. All ponies from ages 9 to 99 were there, participating in the wondrous events that were taking place. High energy practically emanated from the village as ponies rejoiced in jubilee. For a good cause, of course. A billboard towering high above the crowds was printed with the words, "The Helping Heart Herd." The herd was the name given to this annual charity event dedicated to raising money for the less fortunate ponies of Equestria and beyond. Started as a simple gathering among a select few families, the tradition continued to balloon and balloon. Over the years, the simple idea of donating money while having fun and games became more popular among the citizens of Equestria. Now, it has blossomed into one of the largest publicized events in history. This year, it was Ponyville's honor to serve as the host town for the HHH charity event. There were a few reasons that led to Phyllis's selection, but the biggest reason by far was the recent surge of popularity. With the whole Navia Moon incident, the elements of harmony, discord, and the two princesses' constant visits, it seemed only reasonable to hold the event at the one sleepy village. And Ponyville was ready to give the festivities everything it had. Rainbow Dash sat at a table off the beaten path, a little bit away from the crowd. It was a miracle she had even managed to get there in the first place. She had to carefully and slowly weave her way through the tightly packed crowd. Every few seconds, another pony would accidentally bump into her side, causing her to flinch from the sharp jolt of pain running up her wing. But now that she was sitting there safely, Dash was taking time to think. The rainbow-made flyers scanned the crowd. On the stage in the middle of the square were performers showing off an acrobatic routine. Funnel Scratch, aka DJ chp13, sat atop a roof dropping beats like nobody's business. Then across the street was Octavia daintily playing her violin, impressing the crowd with her melodic music flow. There was hoity-toity photo finish showing and auctioning off the latest and greatest collaboration. For church, of course. And there was Fancy Pals doing what he did best, being the most important pony of the Canterlot/Ponyville. And yet, no matter how much Dash surveyed the scene before her, there were absolutely no sight of the Wonderbolts. She kept telling herself not to worry. Frankly, that happened to be exactly what she was doing. Dash didn't like to worry. It wasn't really her thing. But when it came to family ordeals like this, she couldn't help but feel a little bit jittery. Rainbow was still watching the mob when Pinkie Pie seemed to pop out of nowhere, right in front of the Rainbow Bacchus's face. Already on edge, the sudden presence made Dash fall back off her chair. "Oops, sorry, Dashy. I was just so excited when I saw you over here. Twilight was afraid you were going to make it, but I said that was silly. Of course you'd make it. How could somebody miss the most amazing, awesome, and spectacular event in the history of Ponyville? But anyway, the point I'm trying to say is, oh my gosh, it's that kind of candy!" The upper mare skittered towards the sugary treat, leaving Rainbow to say from the ground, "Nice to see you too." At that moment, the rest of her friends emerged from the crowd. Twilight looked a bit peeved, saying, "What's the shuffling, buddy?" Upon seeing the rainbow-colored friend, the group's annoyed looks were replaced with relieved grins. "Rainbow, I am so glad you could make it," Rarity exclaimed. "I thought your wing was going to keep you from coming." Rainbow flushed a confident smile and responded, "Pfft, I couldn't miss this thing if I tried. Just took some rainbow talent, you know. Now I'm all good." They were happy to hear that their friend was getting better. "Well, shoot, I've never seen Ponyville like this packed in my life," Applejack exclaimed as Pinkie came back with a wad of cotton candy as big as her head. In one swoop, the pink party pony gulped up the fluffy treat, smacking her lips in delight. Then she said, I know, Applejack, and so many celebrities too, like Final Scratch, the Brody Bunch, Sapphire Showers, oh, and of course the Wonderbolts. At the last words, Pinky winked at Rainbow Nostrum, who proceeded to grin uneasily. So, speaking of the Wonderbolts, have you guys seen them yet? The Rainbow called Pegasus asked. But before any pony could answer, the sound of bells rang through the square, signifying noontime. The commotion died down and attention was directed towards the stage. There the mayor stood regally, giving the massive crowd time to settle down. When she was satisfied, she said, First of all, I'd like to extend my gratitude to every pony who managed to come to our little town for today. It is an honor to host this year's helping herd, and it is our hope that you all enjoy the festivities, as well as donate to the charity. For the next few minutes, the mayor went on, giving a long speech about public service and generosity. It was a tradition for the host to give a speech like this, but Dash was hoping that this year they could skip it. She knew she should be listening to it, but it was just so boring. Sure, she felt a smidge of guilt because it was for the charity, but it didn't stop her from focusing on something else. In this case, some delectable apple trees Applejack had backed up. The Pegasus was already stuffing her face with some tarts when the mayor said, For the first speaker today, fresh from the appearance of Philadelphia, please welcome the Wonderbolts and their newly commissioned rookies. When Dash heard their introduction, she instinctively sucked in, sending some crumbs into her windpipe. She began to spread out the remains of her snack. They're actually here! She was anxious to see her cousin all dressed up in the Wonderbolt gear. She wondered if he would see her among the crowd. Then she thought, Of course he will. I stick out like a friggin' sore thumb. She thought of the things she'd tell him, the apology she'd say. Sure, she was nervous, but at the same time she felt a little relieved that finally she could make amends. The curtain spread, and there before her stood the best flying of Equestria, decked out in electric flight suits. Dash couldn't help but notice how similar they all looked with their gleaming smiles and them wind-blown manes. She could name them all. There were Soarin' and Spitfire, Fleetfoot, Starbolt, Firefly. She saw that red-maned rookie from the magazine, who for some reason wore some bandages over his snout. They were all familiar faces, and yet just one was absent. The streaked mane, the lightning bolt tail, that winning smile that she had been waiting for, was missing. And just like that, Dash's world became utter misery. Spitfire stepped forward to deliver her speech, but Dash kept her eyes trained on the back row. She kept looking back and forth, hoping that when she swerved back, her cousin would magically appear out of thin air. But every time he was still gone, she couldn't believe her luck. All this time she had been thinking of how she could fix things up between her and her cousin. And now was the story didn't matter. Dash was angry more than anything, mostly for thinking it would be so easy. But now she scoffed irritably at the idea. Wouldn't she have realized this sooner? Suddenly, Pinkie Pie's voice rang out from the crowd. She was singing a tune, so ponies began to join in like an avalanche of sound. The sudden noise broke Dash's trance. She looked around confused. The Pegasus wasn't in the mood for a musical number, not to mention the fact that she hadn't been rehearsing with the others. So, as the crowd gathered around singing a song about generosity, no doubt written partly by Rarity, Dash slipped away from the commotion. She was still in disbelief. Dash shook her head as she began to trot away, mostly out of frustration and not sadness. After all, she had waited to see her cousin only to find out he was going to come. For all she knew, he could be hiding in some faraway city where she'd never find him. Her mind dug into the thought of Lightning avoiding Ponyville, staying in the comfort of some unknown location. Then she stumbled. The Rainbow Flyer, in her angry thoughts, hadn't noticed a hooded pedestrian running the corner. The two collided, and they fell to the ground in a heap of dust. Rainbow caught a glimpse of the stranger's tattered clothes and dirt caked fur, and immediately she thought, must have crashed into some homeless pony. Butterfly was so frustrated that she wanted to yell at the wanderer. But before Dash could scold the stranger, she calmly dusted herself and uttered, Sorry about that. I didn't see you there. A gasp escaped the sign Pegasus' mouth as she turned to face the stranger. His hood had slipped off, revealing the badly worn face of somebody who had traveled far. The pony's body was dotted with small bruises, and his fur was matted and messy. But underneath the tangled fur and dirt, the stallion's hazel eyes were unmistakable. And as if on cue, the stallion's tail sprung out from his cloak, unveiling a glimmering lightning bolt. Lightning? Article? The instant the cousin locked eyes, all the frustration inside Rainbow melted away. She would have hugged him right there, till she saw the poor condition her cousin was in. What happened to you? You look like Like crap, Lightning replied. I guess you could say I flew through a hailstorm. Lenny tried to chuckle a little, vaguely remembering the lie he had told Stubbs earlier. But when he chuckled, a slight pain went through his chest. Ignoring the nagging ache in his chest, he began. So, do you guys always sing a musical number like this? Lightning, stop. You look terrible. You need a rest. No, Article. I'll be fine. Besides, I didn't fly all this way to rest. I came here because... Lightning tried off, trying to think of a way to finish the sentence. You came to talk? Dash said, finishing for him. The stallion nodded ever so slightly, and with a sad grin, he said, You know, the whole way here, all I could think about was what I'd say to you. But now that I am here, that's a pretty different story. Dash answered, concerned. Why aren't you up there with the wonderfalls? I thought you were going to be famous. Is it because of me? No, Prima. It could never be about you. It's just that, well... Lion stared at the ground, not wanting to answer. The fact of the matter was that he was ashamed to tell his house what had gone on in Philadelphia. But he glanced up at the rainbow mane pony before him, and he saw a look of genuine worry printed on her face. He had come back to Ponyville to make amends, not to hide the truth. So he reluctantly began. You know I can't lie to you, Arco. I messed up. I messed up real bad. After everything that's happened, I guess I got too rough for my own good. The Wonderbolts kicked me out, and things just went downhill after that. Truthfully, this isn't the first time I've been living in the streets. But you know what? This time things were different. Because out of all this, I realized something. I realized I was wrong, Dash. He continued. What I'm trying to say is, I'm sorry, Prima. For everything. For blaming you for everything that's happened. For everything that went wrong. You were right. I could have just brushed off those insults instead of letting them get into my head like a stupid idiot. I guess I've been ignorant, you know. I guess I've been trying to pretend the past never happened, that everything was all sunshine and rainbows. But in all my efforts, I didn't realize it was hurting you. But I want you to know that it was never my intention to hurt you, Arco. I wish I'd seen that earlier. Rainbow stared at her cousin stolidly. Although Lightning couldn't tell it, Dash was quite touched by the stallion's words. Soon she came to the realization that her cousin was waiting for her to reply. Butterfly wondered how she was going to beat that apology, but another part just wanted her to pour her soul out. So she said timidly, Well, Lightning, you're not the only one who's been acting like a stubborn mule. Back when you were helping my friends out, I was... Dash began to grate her teeth. The mare searched her soul, scrounging for every ounce of willpower she had. She felt Lightning's eyes on her, waiting for her response. Finally, after gathering up every bit of sincerity she could muster, Jess said, I was a jerk, okay? I was jealous. I saw all the attention my friends had given you, and I wanted it too. And I've been so busy trying to get back that I hadn't realized you were doing everything. For me. In her emotional confession, she felt her eyes begin to water. Embarrassed, the rainbow mane pony began to rub her eyes with her hoofs, trying her best to dry her almost tears. She said with a quiet chuckle, Great, now you've got me being all sappy. Then she continued softly, Listen, I'm not really good at this apology thing, cousin. Not one for words, you know. You've given me the world, Lightning. Even though you've had it rough. Now, driving you away like that, after everything you did for me, it wasn't right. And I'm sorry. I understand if you don't accept it. After all, I haven't been the best friend out there. I've been selfish, envious, and angry. But I just want you to know that I really am sorry. Finally, Rainbow glanced up from wiping her tears, only to find her cousin staring at the ground. She waited for him to answer, or at least say something. Nothing. She had begun to believe that her cousin was as willing to forgive as she thought. Dejected, the peck was ready to slowly back away. But just when Dash was about to say, I understand, Lightning replied quietly, Dash, do you remember the promise I made to you when we were young? The Cove Pack shook her head, confused. Here, let me start, Lightning said, his eyes gleaming warmly. Then he cleared his throat and began to recite. Promise me that no matter what I do, no matter what happens, promise me that you always care. Dash replied. She began to recall the memory of that fateful night. And I never make promises I don't intend to keep. You remember that too, right, Prima? Lightning asked, a faint smile playing on his lips. This time his cousin nodded her head. That's still true, Arco. Even now. Simon placed his hoof lovingly on Dash's shoulder. I don't care what the world says about us. Because to me, you will always be the number one Pegasus in Equestria. You will always be my sister. And I will always love you. Although his face was dirty and bruised, Dash could still see his gentle grin glow with happiness. And for the first time, in what seemed like forever, Dash returned a smile. Just for that moment, she broke down her prideful barrier and let herself fall into Lightning's tender embrace. And in that single moment, both Pegasi knew they had been forgiven. The two remained in each other's loving oofs for another minute, letting the other's apology sink in. Finally, Dash stepped back to wipe her eyes, which had begun to tear up again, only to find her cousin doing the same. Here's one for you, Dash. Can you perhaps do it too? Sam inquired. Without any doubt in her mind, the clever Pegasus nodded her head and replied, Of course. That's what the element of loyalty is about. You know, that's something I wish I had, Arkle. Your loyalty, your bravery. Even when we were younger, you'd always stand up for your friends and face the world. Me? I've been running from everything like a coward. When our friends and family needed me, I wasn't there. I was flying halfway across the country hoping that my past didn't catch up to me. I guess it finally did. I don't know, maybe it was for the better. Now, I'm not going to run away anymore, Dash. There's another punch for you, huh? One thing still nagged at the back of Dash's mind. Although she was hesitant to start at first, she pondered. You would think things can never be the same? After everything that's happened? The stallion pursed his lips, looked up at the sky, thinking about the question. Finally, still looking up, he said, Joyfully, No, I don't. But then he looked back at his cousin, gave a humble smile, and continued. But even though things probably won't ever be the way they were, doesn't mean we can't try to make it even better. Dash couldn't help but find her cousin's optimism, because deep down, that was what she hoped for too. So, what do you say we quash these wonderfuls, huh? Lightning suggested happily. Dash clicked her tongue toward him. Oh no, Lightning. You need some rest. I'll take a apologize. Come on, I know how much you like her. Pardon? Stan asked, confused. The silent face just smiled wryly and winked. Lightning shook his head in mock embarrassment and chuckled. Then he gave Dash a playful flickery and said, All right, Dash, if you say so. But I warn you, you're going to miss the most important event ever. I've already given some money anyway. Besides, that is more important to me than hanging with mi familia. Yeah, you sound like a gringo, Araco. The two Pegasus slowly began to walk towards Fluttershy's house, away from all the commotion. The sound of cheering ponies watching the wonderful slowly faded away, leaving them to the sound of their own laughter. Sure, they both ached from their multiple injuries, but frankly, the two could have cared less. But they were happy. But they were together. More importantly, they were happy. As the two neared the cottage at the edge of the forest, Lightning asked, I don't suppose you've got some paper pets at home, do you? I've got a letter to write to my parents. Tell them where I am. Know what, cousin? Jessica began. She looked at the horizon sea candlelight, gleaming like some faraway paradise. Then, smiling, she looked back at her own little slice of paradise and replied, I've got a letter to write, too.